operations create, title will be string operations, type executable program, click on save in the package, and transport. 780 transport. If you are using same transport continuously, it will keep on it will auto populate. Otherwise, we have to select from own request. Standard page heading, by default I'm adding to ignore the title in the body of the screen. I'll go to my document. Okay, so string operations में I'll go to the last slide which we discussed yesterday. Yeah, here you can see string operations means it's a alphanumeric characters. Okay, so it can be infinity values. Okay, but there are some operations like we have to suppose there is a first name, last name, we have to concatenate those two values, or we have to split those values. Okay, so those are strings only, right? We have some operations for related to string, concatenation, split. Okay, uppercase, lowercase, conversions. Okay, remove the unwanted spaces and all. So those will be achieved through string operations. So we have the first one, split. You can see here. Okay, so first keyword, the syntax is, so okay, basically the function is used to split the given string. Suppose there is a sentence, if you want to split the sentence based on some separator or based on space, a space on this based on the special character, so we can do, okay, we can achieve through split. Just writing split example. Okay, so here I'm taking variable is mbstr. Okay, or I'll use MB. LV, local, LV means local variable is a syntax. So this will be different project to project, but majority they will use LV. Okay, local variable. str means string related variable. Okay, so type string, so string type. Okay, so value is okay. So this is the value. India is my country. So I want to split this based on the spaces. So how many spaces we have? 3 spaces. How many values we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 keywords. So after splitting, it will be considered as a 4 words. Okay, we have to store. I mean, we can say 4 strings. Okay, instead of that words. So we have to store those 4 string values in the different variables. So I'm creating different variables. Okay, so variable 1 type string. Data variable 2 type string. Variable 3 type data v3. This case v4 v3. Right, string. So this is a supported declaration I created for this understanding. So actual keyword is split. So split LV star. What is LV star? Which is having India is my country. Okay. So this we are splitting this at position. So at what position? At space. So I'm giving single space. You can see here in within the single quote I'm giving space means it will consider as a space as a separator for splitting this into V1, V2, V3, V4. See, I'm displaying 4. Okay, so V1, V2, V3, V4. You can try in next line, new lines for everyone, for every variable. So this is the main syntax we need to understand. So we are splitting this content based on the space. At is the position. Okay. We used to call, right, at college, at bus stand, and so like that. At spaces we are using split. So after splitting, we are pushing into these variables v1, v2, v3, v4. No commas is required. Only give the spaces. It will automatically switch. It will convert it to this variables form. Okay. So it is asking give some space after slash. Just give this space. Okay, it's gone. Activate. Okay, I'm just executing. See this. It is splitted in separate variables. Any doubt on that?
Right.
No, sir.
Okay. It's not
Let's
always.
say if the one, sorry, Kishore. So if you want to start your position from third onwards, I wanted to split from the middle. So can we specify that one?
We should have some common value. Okay, here. See,
Okay.
suppose space I use, and I'm using underscore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with underscore, here we can mention underscore in single quotation. Output will be same in this case also because we're splitting based on this. Example, we have a email ID. Okay, so email ID is separated with at the rate. So based on at the rate, we can split. So suppose we have the customer email ID, but we don't have customer first name and last name or customer domain. Okay. So that time we can use their mail ID as a input, and we can split as a name is a before at the rate and domain is after that. We can store as a two values in database.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
That is one of the real-time example.
Okay.
Suppose they have a okay split cases you're telling like we have a JSON format which we are getting data from external systems. Okay, if you want to split based on some brackets or commas, that time we can take it.
Right.
Okay, so this is split example. We'll move on to next one.
Perfect.
So we have search operation. So we need to search the keyword in provided string at what position it started actually. So that keyword we are using now. Search. Okay. So we have a data. Okay, LV. I'm using same syntax. India is my country. One Windows is
Sir,
underscore.
your LV makes any difference, or we can use any
Anything you can use A also
A
because
also, no, sir? Okay, okay.
yeah, A we already use for integer, right? That's why I'm making as a different. Okay, so LV is a
Okay.
local variable. After underscore, you have to give proper meaning. If you're using country as a if you're using this variable for country purpose, you can use LV underscore country or region
Okay.
LV underscore region. Okay, so like that you can give. So now I'm using for a string. That's why I'm mentioning LV str. So LV means local variable that we follow in our coding standards. Okay. So this for
Okay.
variable purpose LV. If it is other things, we didn't start, but you can see in further session. For other declarations, we use different value. SAP also will do the same. So we are following SAP rules only. So LV are using for they are using for local variables. Okay. So here I'm using such str for is. Okay, so this will be returning by field position system field FTPOS. So yesterday we saw 171 field system field. So this is one of the system field position. FD is field, POS is position. This will return the number. If this value is there in, we are searching for is there in this syntax, or sorry, in this string.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So since it is there, it will return that position at what character it is started actually. You can see here. If we got the value, say we got the 6. If you sign program also, India is a 5 characters and we have a space, total six characters. After 6, easy started. Okay, this is just confirmation. Okay, just comment on this. This is just that particular value is there. Not like we are searching for some numbers. So we might got some 1,000, 2,000 characters string from database or some external URLs and all. if you want to check your specific employee ID or something, if you have the employee ID, you can pass here. Is also not mandatory, just directly pass. We can take one more variable. Okay. I'm just taking as employee number. You have employee number, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So suppose that value is there here also. Suppose we are searching for 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop here. This will return the different character number, different position number, 20. Okay, because here before that we have 20 characters here. Before 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So searching for employee number or searching for incident number in one of the JSON code or XML code, which we are getting through REST API or web service, and all that time we are using this kind of syntaxes. Okay. Just for searching purpose, you can understand all these keywords I'll use in real time. Concepts. Whatever we discuss the concept, there I'll take the real time scenario. There we are using all these concepts. That time we will get to know actual use of the object. As of now, just to know the syntax, because once I started the concept, I'll not talk about this data. What is data keyword? What is type and all. I'll directly talk about the requirement and how we are building the logic. That I'll tell you. Okay. So what is split or what is write, I'll not talk on that time. Okay. So next one is concatenation. So this is we are using for concatenating 4, 5 words or 4, 5 sentences together. Like we have a one sentence like the customer is created successfully, but customer number is not part of messages. Okay, but customer number is storing some variable, so we have to add in between the sentence. So that time we can use concatenation as example. Okay. So data. So I'm taking 4 variables. Value. Example, I'm taking India only. So we have 4 variables here. So I'm using India is my country only for example. So we have 4 different variables which is having different words or different string values. And I'm creating one more final string variable. Data LV str. It is purely opposite to split. Okay, you can take it that way. Okay, string type string. See, concatenate is a keyword. Concatenate v1, v2, v3, v4 into lvstr. Okay. Okay. So we are concatenating v1, v2, v3, v4. That means we are combining these 4 values into lvstr. So finally, lvstr having India is my country, but it will not give any space in between. So it will see if you see the output. How can we see the output? By displaying lvstr.
Okay.
Stop. Then only we need to know. I mean, we can understand that out this concatenation functionality in this example program. See this. India is my country. But if you want some spaces in between, okay, so that case here after police stop we can use separated by space. So space is some kind of predefined functionality.
Okay.
Okay. You can directly use space or you can use single quotation space also. Okay, so
Yes.
when I mean we'll directly use space only to avoid the issues and all. In the case of space, if you want to put some separators like underscore or ampersand something values, that time you can use single quotation and that particular value it will add in between.
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm just executed. You can see here. So as per grammar, it will add only single space, separated space. Okay. So this is one syntax. This is old syntax. Now with the latest version, we have different syntax, but separated space will not work there. Okay. So LVSTR equal to V1 double ampersand V2 double ampersand V3 double ampersand V4. If you don't have uh, if you don't have scenario like adding space in between, then you can use this direct concatenation. Like you have a domain and you have a first name and last name. Some projects they have if you combine the first name and last name, automatically it will create the email ID if you add the domain. So that scenario you can use. Now V1, V2, V3, V4 are the values, and in between, instead of V3 you can directly write the ampersand in single quotation, and V4 will be the domain and V1, V2 will be the first name and last name. And finally LV star will have the email ID. Like that you can take the example. You can see here, no spaces. See here I'm writing now. Naresh G. Okay. Here I'm mentioning percent entry.com. Okay. So this is a name. So how can we do? We need to generate the mail. So first name and last name, you can see the user's profile, and domain. They have a default domain that we can get it from one of the table in SAP. Ampersand that we know by default ampersand is using in the email. Okay. So now we have to generate the email based on these four. First name and last name we are taking from one of the table based on the user's profile, and domain is by default they have a separate domain, client domain. Okay. So email ID was not maintained in user's profile. If it is not their email ID, we have to generate this format. Okay. So now V1, V2 is the first name, last name. In between, we have to add dot also. So you can use one more ampersand dot. So first name dot second name, and here instead of V3, okay, V3 we already defined. You can directly use V3. So we have ampersand, and country domain name country.com is a domain. You can see the finally it will display the email ID. See here, Naresh Josh D at the rate of country domain, country.com.
Right, Kishore, but now if you want to send to more than one person, right? Let's say you were passing in a multiple people in the Excel. In that case, so like we need to add on one more variable for the first name and the last name,
Right,
and
right.
then we'll repeat in
We'll
the
put
loop,
it in
right?
the loop. We'll put it in
Yeah.
the loop. Same variables only. We'll put it in the loop.
Mhm.
Data here we are capturing here we are hard coded. That's why variable is getting the same value. But when you do the loop, this data is coming based on the loop variables.
Right.
So this is also some dynamic variable. These values also will change. Here also will change. So here also will change this. So we are not using right. So again we are pushing into one more table or one more Excel or something wherever it is required. Only in this case, if you have multiple scenarios, we can only use this statement only. These are all just dummy purpose we are creating for understanding.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So only this
Yeah.
syntax will work that case.
Perfect. Perfect.
We have both scenarios recorded. You can see. I will not able to enable both at a time. So concatenation. Next one, shift. Okay. So shift basically we are using like sometimes we got suppose mail only we got from external or some file or some CSV file or XML file in through the directories or some database. Okay. So due to the coding or some suppose we are integrated with the .NET system through the data transfer, it might be added end of the email or starting of the email, unnecessary spaces. Okay. So you found that there is one unnecessary spaces is coming for before the email, and you will not able to control that in between. Okay, that time you can use this shift example. Okay. Shift statement. First, I'll tell you the shift example, then shift functionality, then we'll switch it to a scenario. Okay. LVSTR type all are string variables. Shift LVSTR by 5 places. Write LVS. After shifting, we'll see the what is output. So why we are getting here red color? Red color means error. Why red color is coming?
Value.
No idea.
Yeah,
It's
value keyword is missing. So always str is a variable type string. After this is a value. Okay, we have to add value keyword.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just activating. So just execute it. So what you observe here?
India is missing.
India is how many characters? India.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The India is a 5 characters word. Okay, so
Yeah.
5 characters missing. So by default, when you use shift, it will perform as a left. So shifting to left. So left means here screen resolution we don't will not able to see that. So 5 characters will be hidden here. Okay. So after India we have a space. You can see space in is my country. Okay. If you use here after space left also will work same functionality. By default it will take as a left. Suppose if I mention right here, I just commented left. Let's see how it is working. So now you can see India is my country, but 5 places you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 5 characters, it is shifted to right.
Okay.
Okay. So now we have one more option, which is combination of both left and right. So circular. Suppose there is a number, first three characters should come in the last. So that time you can use circular. See now I am using 5 places circular. Okay, first it will perform left and immediate it will perform right. You can see as part of left, okay, we lost that 5 characters, but as part of right, you can see the 5 characters added in the end of the statement. Okay.
all right.
Yeah. So since it is string value with the spaces, you will not able to see here spaces, but actually this shift we are using for some words or some email IDs or some numbers, some incident number, some kind of numbers we are using where first 3 characters should come in the last. Okay. I'll just comment this. We'll switch to next one. Okay, now we are continuing with translate. Okay. Translate statement. So I'm writing some value. Del be str type string. I'm using same value. There's my country. CO. Okay. You can see all we have the values. The string is, I mean, every character in the lower characters, right? Not uppercase, lowercase. So now we are converting this to uppercase. So you say translate, okay, translate LVSTR to uppercase, right? LVST. Here we have text in the lowercase. So the text stored in the LVSTR variable. With this variable, we are converting to uppercase. Okay. Just click on save, check, activate. See, executing now. Now you can see here all the characters are in the uppercase. Okay. And similarly, we will do for lowercase also. So this was written for lowercase to uppercase. Okay, so now we'll write same thing for caps letter. I'm commenting this here only. Okay, so now we have text in caps letter, so we have to use lowercase. Okay, to lowercase. So we are converting capital letter to lowercase and we are displaying. Just click on save, check. So are you guys able to see now, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's reactivating. Okay, execute. Now we can see small letters. So text we have capital letter, we are converting to small letters. So at the in real time scenario, actually SAP database, if you are not defining conversions and all, it will by default it will store in the capital letters in database. Okay, but if there are applications which we are targeting as with the small letters, let's suppose we have your employee ID. Okay, by default it will store in the capital letter, but if you're targeting database with small letters, it might written as value is not there in database. Okay, few cases. Okay, suppose you're targeting users for someone's ID with an email ID in some custom table or standard table. If the email ID is not there, we will not do some activity. Okay, so if you try with small letters, basically it will store capital letter. Whenever if you give as a small letters also, if you are not defining conversions, it will store as a capital letters. If you target as a small characters, it might be written as a negative statements, like it is data is not there. So that time we have to convert. We have to create one dummy variable or a duplicate variable. We have to pass same value to other variable also, and we have to convert it to caps. So we have to check with both scenarios. Value is same, but we are checking with caps letter and small letters also. That time we'll get accurate, uh, statements or accurate data, okay, from database. Okay, so not all caps, all small. Suppose we have all. Okay, suppose if you have one letter caps also, remaining all small also, everything will convert it to lowercase. Okay, even some of the text is already lowercase, remaining will convert it to lowercase and everything will show in the lowercase. Okay, same will applicable for uppercase. Suppose India is already uppercase, remaining everything is in small letters. So it will convert it to, only this part will convert to uppercase. Finally, it will show everything as a uppercase. Okay. So I'll move on to next one. Translate, I'll comment here. So next one we have condense. Okay. So condense, again we have two options. Basically condense we are using for removing the unwanted spaces in between the text. Data, MB or LVSTR, type, string, values. We have the same value we are using here. If I use condense LVSTR, no other syntax, displaying LVSTR. You let me know any differences you found. Click on save, check, activate, continue, and execute. So any differences you found?
No, sir.
because our sentence is grammarly correct. Okay, so there is no unwanted spaces and all. Suppose if I give before India one space, in between India and East, if I give three spaces, in between my and country, if I give this one space, so now what? Now output will come same as previous output. Okay, we have too many spaces, but it will remove the unwanted spaces. See here, before India no space. In between everywhere we have single space. So as per grammar it will work. Understood? Condense functionality.
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
Yeah.
Nice.
Suppose if you want to remove these grammar spaces also, if you want to remove, okay. So that time you can add here no gaps keyword. So it will make it as a single word. So just activating again. Executing, you can
That's
see now.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So there are two scenarios in the condense. Okay. Basic condense, which will remove the unwanted space, and additional with no gaps, it will remove the even single spaces as well. I'm putting this in comment mode. You can use let. Just activating.
If we enter numbers, sir, with spaces, with space.
Everything. String is string. You don't confuse here. String is a combination of characters and numbers and special characters. Anything. So condense is only spaces or so it will in the text level if you have any spaces only it will cover the spaces condition only. Okay. If you mention here at the rate also it will work. See after my if you're using star and all. Okay, it will work only for spaces. Okay, because while doing some activities, okay, so suppose you are splitting some value, okay, you are splitting this value. Okay, after is or before is there are two characters. So when you are splitting, okay, we are using split condition is space. Now here we have two spaces. So which one will take? First one will take. Okay, two spaces. So when is separated with previous one space and three characters. Okay, so we wanted to remove this unwanted space. So that time, for every time after splitting, for every V1, V2, V3 we used yesterday, right? Split, where is the split? Okay, this first one. So here before displaying, right? Okay, we'll use condense for every variable. That is just performing the performing tunings, or we can say better coding and all. We are using that. So yesterday I didn't pretend because I have to discuss with this. Okay, then only. Okay. So whenever we read data from database, okay, if you are not sure, some of the fields will get this unwanted spaces, we can prefer to use the condense. So before usage of that value, okay. So now here writing this is our usage. So before usage only I'm writing condense. Okay. Just commenting this. Check next one. Replace. Replace just we have some text. We are replacing with other word or other sentence. Okay. Data. VSTR time string. Replace is okay, in LVSTR with okay, I'll use my instead of replacing my with R. Displaying that LVSTR. So what will be the output now? So we are replacing my with R. So India is R.
Hmm.
You can see the output. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In both cases also, we don't need to directly write text. We can write the variable also. If you have other v1 value is okay. Here we can use v1. Here we can use v2. I'm just activating. Okay. So that is about replace. Next one is string length. Okay. So you might be heard about the string length. You need to capture the length of the string, like how many characters we have on the. Okay. Dot name is strlen is the keyword. Okay. Using data lvstr type string value. So what will be the outcome of string length?
Just show the how many characters.
How many characters? No? So like this read how many characters means suppose it returns 20. What is 20 in programmatically? Which kind of data it is?
Meaning, it's just a value. Each one considers the value and it's showing the figure. The numerical number, that's it.
I can say it's an integer value. Okay, 20 is an integer
Right.
value. So when it returns an integer value, we have to store somewhere. So for that also we have to create one more variable. Okay, so I'm creating a is an integer value. Okay, a type integer. So that will whatever it returns, we're supposed to store in one variable. So always when you're using string length, this is prerequisites for that. Okay, some
Okay.
integer data type variable should be there in the programming. Otherwise. Okay, it's a part of the syntax. Okay, now a equal to strlen string length bracket, no space in between the bracket, and after that we need to give some space lv str again space bracket close. Now we'll display this right here. Click on save, check, activate. See, it returns the 19 characters. Since it is an integer, you can see that bracket is showing last space for plus or minus. The length is 10 characters. 10 characters for numbers. 11th one is for deciding the plus or minus. Okay.
Okay.
That is about. So in real time where we are using, suppose there is a screen where we are capturing some description from student. Okay. Example, some input box is there in the screen where user is giving some description about some item, or vendor is giving the remarks or comments. So comments should not cross more than 1,000 characters. So what we will do inside, so whatever the suppose lvstr is the that selection screen or input screen backend variable. Okay, so whenever the user submit, we'll check this the value is crossing 1,000 or not. Suppose now a is 19 characters. So after a, how can we decide a is more than 10 characters or not, as per concept still now we discuss. Can we use any concept? I mean, we already discussed that one.
While
So scenario,
while hello.
no, it's a screen. Okay, there is a screen input. For the screen input, LVSTR is the backend value where it will store the data. Okay. So when user is providing 10 characters for the input, suppose user is provided 12 characters. So we should not allow for that. So we can use string length, but after string length, how can we decide that it is more than 10 characters or not? So we have to show some message to the users. It should be less than 10. Any
You're right.
statement we can use, which we discussed till now? No? Okay. So what is the use of if condition? Hello?
Yeah, Kishore, that's right.
That's right. So that is we can use if condition. If A is less than, okay, less than, if A is greater than 10 characters, in if condition will display. So the value should be less than 10 characters. Or else case we can put the else case we will not use. We don't need. Only negative case will identify. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So we don't need a else part. That if it is successful, more than 10 only will display the data and will not allow and will not continue with the data further activity and will show some message and will give access to the users again providing new value or deleting the crossing the, whatever the maximum length, and when they submit again next time and will continue with the code. So stopping until we have some syntax that we'll discuss later, but through if condition we can handle that. Okay, first is string length and subsequently we have to use if condition. Last we have substring. If you see a substring, we have five types of syntaxes. So this function is used to capture the specified text in the main string. Suppose there is 1,000 character string, we wanted to capture some value in that main string. So that time we'll go with the substring. Okay, I'll show all the substrings functionalities. Scenario one here. Data LVSTR is the main string. Tag str value. So here value I'm giving some number. Here I'm giving some value. Okay. So suppose I'm giving INC. Some text we are getting some externally or from database or some XML file or JSON file. Okay. INC some number. So basically in this text, this is the incident number. These are I'm taking real time scenario. So this is the incident number which we are getting. Okay. So incident 125478. So this is the incident. Okay. So based on this, I'll explain you some dummy value also. We have. So this is a big string which we are handling. So based on this, I'll explain you all the strings. So we have one more also data type where we, where which we are using to store the substring value. L type string. Scenario one is here result equal to substring bucket value VL. So it's exporting parameter for the substring. So value equal to what is the value of our main string LVSTR, and here We're switching off the 10 characters. The length is 20. This is the first scenario. So we have to pass the value, the main string value. So this is our main string value where it is storing LVSTR. And we are off 10 characters means, suppose if you want to capture in this string, if you want to capture after 10 characters, suppose after 10 characters you want to capture 20 characters. So that is your logic. Okay. So this case, the first 10 characters we need to switch off. Okay. So we switching off this first 10 characters. So this will be deleting automatically. So after that length is 20 characters. So totally from after 10 to 30 characters. That will be the our output in this case. Okay. So I'm displaying result. Not only 10, 20 is not fixed. I'm taking just example. We can try with 2 or 10. Okay, 15 or 10. It should be allowed within the length of the main string. If you put here 1000, it will not work. We don't have 1000 character string in that. Okay. I'm just executing. You can see here started with O, ended with 0. Okay, so here started with O, this O. Okay, so ended with 0. So this is the output in this case. Understood the syntax here?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, in
Yes,
right
sir.
side we are from the main string after 10 characters. After means off, we are just switching off the 10 characters, and our output, our substring length is 20 characters. Okay, so whatever the value is there, that will store in result. We are displaying that result one. That is about scenario 1. Next one. Narrative. Okay, so here also result equal to string after. Okay, value is, we should give the space because ABAP is a space sensitive before it after equal to. Okay. So here also value we have to write. Okay, instead of open, offset or something value. Okay. Sub is our logic is INC I'm using in this case. Okay. So this syntax meaning is, so in this main string, after this substring, so what is a substring here now? INC. So where we define INC, here we define. So after INC, whatever is there, we are displaying. Substring after means. Suppose after INC, from here to here, it will capture. So this is our expected output. Okay, after INC. I'm just executing. You can see after INC, along with the instance number, something is coming. Whatever we define, okay, declare in that value. So that is after after the string. Based on the, finally it will return the substring only, but based on this sub value, this is the logic for that. Okay. Any doubt on
Okay.
this?
Yes, Kishore. So initially the result equals to you saying that, and the result will the variable shows entire, that will capture the entire data, correct?
Which one? Result one.
Yeah.
The result it will capture whatever it is returning by this keyword. Okay, this statement. Okay, so, or this logic. So now here substring after. So after substring, basically substring means the part of the string. Okay, so after means after condition. So some condition. What is the condition? The INC is our logic. So what is the main string LVST? So in this main string after INC, whatever is there, we are capturing as a substring. That substring value will store in the result.
The main string is LVSTR. I agree that, but
Yes, yes.
what is the use of value equals to then?
No, in this syntax, we are indicating that this is the value.
Okay.
How
Okay.
this, I
Mhm.
mean, where we are applying this logic, we are applying this main value. This is the value. In this value, we are applying the logic.
Got you.
Okay, so value the logic in this substring based on this value. Okay, this is the main value and this is the substring logic.
I got that point, Kishore, but my point is substring underscore after open bracket. So why can't you mention LV substr? So instead, you have mentioned the value equals to what it does. The val equals to what it does. I'm trying to understand.
Okay, it's a predefined syntax by SAP basically. Value means we have to pass. Suppose I can give directly this value also, but it will over crossing the value.
No, no,
We have,
that I understood.
yeah.
Okay.
This value
Okay.
means we are passing to this. So basically, the background SAP defined in the kernel level or OS level, they define the syntax like that. So we have to export our value. In this value,
Mhm.
based on the substring, it will capture the after value.
Okay, now it makes sense. Yeah, I got that. Good. Thank you, Kishore. I think in the same way we have in string as well, right?
Same way we have others also. Before, after, from, and to.
From and to, we have a substring right now. So do we have anything like in string? In the database, we have a concept like in string,
No, no, no.
substring. Okay. Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah. The scenario 3 is, so we use after, okay. So now I'm using from, okay. So when you use from along with the sub value, so our sub value is INC. So previous after INC it is displayed. So along after INC it is 1 to this value we got the output in scenario so 2. Now from also means including this value. Okay. So this additional 3 characters also will come in the output. Now INC to N. This is the output. So it started with INC. Previous INC was not there. So we selected I after INC. Now along with INC that we call as a from, substring from. Okay. Similarly, we have other two scenarios before and to address.
I have a question here, Kishore. So if you have a more than one INC in this main statement, so which one will take consider?
The first one will consider.
This number. Okay.
No, we don't have, we didn't mention here. No, it's not there. So it will
Now
start with
add.
first. Okay.
Why don't we add and see the result? One second, please.
Hello?
The voice is breaking, Kishore.
Hello? Now it is fine.
Yeah. In the main sentence, it's going to add one INC, one more INC and see what the result.
Okay. So let me add here. So we added here. Okay.
Okay.
I can see here. It started with first one INC. So because we use substring from, okay, so wherever it started INC, it will consider automatically.
Okay.
So
But
let
how
me,
do we choose, let's say if it is more than one, this is we're trying like, more data, identify that, start from the fourth INC. That's INC is there for many times. But we need to start capturing from the fourth or fifth point.
Okay. Then this logic will not work for this case. If there is a duplicate value, if you are using in substring, then there is no use of this substring from. So substring from means it should be unique value.
Mhm.
Suppose if you are using a value, a might be there in multiple places. So that is not our logic. We have to, in that case, we have to go with different logic, or we'll need to ask them to convert it to the different format. This will not support.
Okay.
Because currently we are using substring for capturing the incident numbers, RATM numbers from external service now or remedy or some other tools, okay, where we are using. Like if you're using idocs or XML data transfer between .NET or Java system to SAP, we used to capture purchase orders
Mhm.
numbers, sales orders numbers, invoice numbers through this format only. If there is a two sales orders numbers in single sales order, then it's a business issue. So it should not create two sales orders in the single request.
I agree that because they're having a primary key on it and it is a unique numbers. Yeah, it's easy to figure it
No, no.
out.
There in data there is no logic in data. But after capturing or while sending data, if they generated two times in a single file, so that is their logic issue. .NET Java coding issue or Java coding issue. So in single file, when you create on single purchase order, it should be generated single record data only in XML file. It should not generate two records for single data.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they might have a logic that,
So it should
they
not.
need to go for the
So for them to
yeah.
get.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure,
next
I'm
we'll go.
good.
Yeah. So we'll go with scenario 4. Formatting this scenario. So 4 I'll explain you first. The substring before, we'll remove this INC. Substring before means before INC, whatever it is, it will display that. You can see it before INC it is displayed. If you use substring 2, so it will display along with INC. Means ended with INC basically. So 2 means from here to INC. Okay. They ended with INC because 2 means, so 2 also, I mean the sub value also will consider in the logic, so it will ended with 2. I mean INC value. So you try with different scenarios with that by putting the different values. You can put the commas. Okay, so you can try with suppose brackets, and also you can try separator like if I give flower bracket close. Okay,
Sir,
try with this
what will
value for
happen?
special characters.
Hello,
What will,
sir.
yeah, continue.
What will happen if we give length as first scenario over here in fifth scenario?
No, that is not the syntax. We'll get dumps, programming
Okay,
dumps.
okay. Only length is applicable for first scenario only.
Currently in this, yes, yes, okay. So the length is okay. It depends on the offset. Okay, if
Okay,
this is not there, this will not work. Okay, so it's a predefined functions we can say in a BAP.
okay, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can we loop search command and substring both? As Vijay sir has asked that in that value, if there is a duplicate, can we use a loop for this with help of search?
I missed that point. Can you repeat it again? Maybe
As
network.
Vijay sir asked that in value, if there are duplicates, number of duplicates, so can we loop a search command in it, search command and substring?
No, looping the search means the main value, right? As a string value, how can you loop? So loop concept will come like a when you have an increment or something. As of today concept. So we have a loop comment from further sessions. If the data is in the data, tabular format, like table format or something, then we can use the loop format. Here, for the string value,
Okay.
we can't perform the loop on.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have multiple records, like in this case, in this program, okay, how can we measuring multiple records, like increasing the value 1, 2, 3, 4, like a equal to a plus 1. So that way we can do the loop. So
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay.
so you remember C language we are using for means we are using I equal to 0, I equal to 1 or I equal to I plus. So why we are using, we are keep on increasing the value till the condition is success. Okay, so we should have a loop means we should have multiple values with not, it's a string is a single value. Okay, it considers a single value in LV. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
In the fifth scenario, we are printing up to INC. I want to search for the INC to some character after last
Yes.
two characters.
I'll give you that scenario. See, so basically, I want to capture incident number. This is my expected. So based on your our experience, or normally, suppose when you talk, when you developing this logic, okay, so when they are giving requirements, basically they will tell that incident number always will be 10 characters. Okay, so basically now also basically they define by default service now give provide options. Incident number always will be 10 characters until unless they customize. If they customize 12 characters, something they add client name or something, that is different case. But basically, as per service now, incident number length is 10 characters. First three characters is INC. Okay. Now I want to capture this only 10. This substring will not capture because the first scenario substring will not go. We don't know the scenario of this because offset, if you know that starting with after 10 characters, we can mention, but sometimes it is coming after 2 characters. Sometimes it is coming after 100 characters. Incident number is not in the same position. It might be dynamic position. So no, but we're supposed to capture these 10 characters. How can we see? We can use the substring after. Okay. So now what is the result here? Sorry, not substring after, substring from. This case. Substring after also we can perform. If before INC, if you have any. Okay, substring from INC. Okay. So what is the output this case? Okay. So are you guys able to see here?
Yes, sir.
Incident in first 10 characters till the 85. Okay. Now only the output we are expecting INC. Okay. So as per logic, they told that its length of the incident will be 10 characters. So I'm writing result of. So we are overriding the result with the result of 10 based on the memory. Okay. Or you can, when you're declaring the result one, you can declare with character C type, and here you can mention 10 characters. Okay, see now I'm right. Okay, executing this. So are you guys able to see here incident number
Yes, sir.
10 characters incident number. Okay. If you write message here, message enter. using concatenation here. Concatenate, take it successfully, create with the number, result. Okay, into again result. I'm again overriding, separated by space. Now we'll display this result using same variable multiple places. Okay, variable. Keep on overriding the line. Instead of that, we can, if we execute, you can see the message. Ticket successfully created with this number. Okay. So we have multiple operations, string operations, split is there, condense is there. You try with all the options. We can use all the options, and if you try different scenarios, you'll get ideas. Okay, so whatever you ask the queries, if you have duplicate and all, if you have multiple places, multiple positions, all can be achieved through different syntaxes. Okay. Suppose before incident, okay. So basically incident directly will not come. It might be added, it might be coming with some value like this, number equal to, they will not send directly incident number, they will send some label also for it. Like when you submit any online forms, they will not give direct, if they give 5 inputs without giving the label, you will not understand, right? Label should mandatory. The first will is first name, last name, they will indicate the text description. And we're supposed to fill in first and second order. So when they send the data also, they will send this. Purchase order equal to this. Okay. So purchase order item equal to this. Company code this is. Tax code is this. So based on this, you can identify after substring. So when if you use this one, after then commenting back, I'll use these characters after. In the after case, they will give label. By based on this label, you can simply write in INC is not required. You can directly put number equal to. So after number equal, after we are using this case, not from. So after number, so this will be the output. In this output, we are capturing 10 characters by using result equal to result of 10. So 10 is memory value. First 10 characters, it will push to this variable again. Okay. So direct value will not get it. So that is not correct format. So they will send that this is the value, this is for this label. See, now here also we are getting the same way. Okay. Any doubt?